And at some point, we're going to come out of this, or in the middle of all this, so many people are going to be looking to you and your team and saying, let's go. They're going to say, let's go. And the question is, at some point, we'll have to figure out the go. Where are you right now in figuring out the go, Coach?
Yeah, great question, and certainly, we actually talk about that as a team quite a bit, and especially with the area, with everything that everyone's going through. Our guys have done a great job in this off season of reaching out to the community and trying to help everybody that they can in time of need right now, and just really proud of our players for that. And then on top of that, we're just in the process of our off season program. We're in the middle of what we consider phase 2, and we're trying to keep things as normal as possible in unnormal times. And that's really kind of our term right now, is just staying normal. And we're in meetings with the players, 4 days a week, getting ready to finish up our phase 2 at the end of the month, and then work into what we call phase 3. Phase 3 will be the biggest change for us. That's usually what's commonly referred to as OTAs, where we're actually out in practice and on the field. And that'll be a little bit different right now. But our players are doing a great job of staying engaged on the calls and making sure we're doing all the virtual teaching and learning at the highest level we can. So, from that standpoint, we're pushing forward, and we're just going to be ready for whenever that is that we can go, we're going to go.
Well, and in terms of that, right now you're in a state where a shelter in place is in place for at least another couple of weeks, and then there are other teams that are back in facilities. Have you or anybody from your organization called up the league office and say that this is something that you hope can be rectified if it does go longer for teams like yourself, Coach?
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, we're certainly trying to look at all options. What's most important right now is that everybody just stays safe, especially in our area. The 2 counties right now in Wayne County and Oakland County that have been hit really hard. That's the heart and center of where, our facilities are and most of where our team lives. So from that standpoint, I have 2 neighbors that are doctors, our team doctor. I talk to them all the time, and I can just tell by the looks on their faces of what they're going through, being on the front lines and having to deal with everything that they've had to deal with here over the last couple of months. And quite frankly, I think, from my standpoint, I'm doing everything possible to get our team ready to go. But I also, the health and safety of our team and everyone in the areas is the most important to me. And I want to make sure that we don't add to that stress by, just trying to rush back in a situation that's not safe.
What about you, man? I mean, how do you draw upon anything to try and coach through something for which there really is no playbook?
Yeah, great question. I just think, I rely heavily on my staff. I have a great staff, and, we just kind of talk about different ideas. I've really encouraged everybody to take this opportunity, first and foremost, to enjoy their family and just be blessed for what we all have and the safety and the health that everyone has right now. I think that's the most important thing. And then on top of that, to really try to grow as a staff, grow as a coach, think outside the box, have conversation across the ball a little bit more, call up some of your colleagues, see what they're doing, try to expand our knowledge to the best of our ability so that we can pass that on to to our players and just become better coaches overall.
Who have you called? Do you call anybody else? Do you call anybody from your past, or what do you got? Drop a name.
I might have made a few phone calls. I think I know where you're reaching there, but I would say
no. Come on now.
I'll follow you. I got you.
I mean, a Nantucket area code. I mean, is that what what do you think?
I don't think that's the area code. I don't really think that's it.
Okay.
So,
all right.
What was kind of cool? You got me there. What was kind of cool was getting ready for the draft. I thought what was pretty interesting for myself as we were talking to college coaches that were actually already in this process. They have already started spring football and we're kind of had to move to the virtual learning. I thought that was really great conversation for me, was to be able to talk to those guys, not only about their players that were coming out, but what they were doing with their players and how much the virtual capabilities, they were able to use and then push. And really, I learned a lot, from that aspect of it, and maybe benefited from some of the trial and error that they had already gone through. So from that standpoint, that was really neat, really getting ready for the draft. But at the same time, we were getting ready for our own virtual meetings that we had to have with our players.
Okay. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.